Welcome back to Geek Channel 8. I'm Eric.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Jason.
Today, from 2004, Van Helsing, as part of our Frankenstein series. We have now hit the 2000s. We are doing Frankenstein films from the 2000s. All right, guys, you ready to jump into this?
Let's jump
Uh,
in.
yes, and I'm gonna go as long as my phone holds out.
Oh boy. All right.
We're good. We're good. I mean, we should be okay.
Okay.
If I drop out of the end, just say, "Hey, I'm Jason." Do your best impersonation of me. It'll be fine. No one will know the difference.
So I've been watching Buffy. I know
Ooh.
that Jason's watching Buffy too, so I won't do any spoilers, but I just watched a season 3 episode called Choices. And in this one, the bad guys like capture Willow. And then there has to be a hostage exchange situation going on. And what's interesting about this episode is it sets up the chain of events that will lead to the Angel spin-off series.
Ooh.
In particular, when Willow has been kidnapped, because Willow did one of the most stupid Willow things that Willow ever does in this series to get captured. There's a big debate, but they all have different opinions about it, and it's interesting to see them wrestle with this dilemma. Anyway, so that's what I've been watching. How about you, Jason? Where are you at in Buffy?
I pounded it all down. Uh, I've
You're,
watched it all.
the
I
whole thing, you're done?
Oh yeah, I'm done. Yeah,
You're
buddy.
so much faster than me. I only go like one episode here and there.
Oh, I'm kind of a loser, and I don't really got a lot going on right now. So, TV it
You-
is.
You're a man of leisure.
Yes, sure.
Fuck.
Let's go with that sounds better. Thank you, Will. That sounds much better than sad introvert shut in. Um, no, I I kind of want to. I would have liked to have seen, you know, a 10 years later from them. I picture Xander being broke down and just, super bitter and
They did it in the comics. So
okay,
go
I didn't
search
know.
out the I think Dark Horse put it out,
Okay.
the entire season of Buffy in comic form.
Okay.
Now
All
I
right.
can't
Okay.
endorse it yet because I've only read the intro to it, and then I was like, I'm not gonna read all of seasons until I watch the seasons leading up to it, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
or
Okay. All
rewatch
right.
anyway.
Well, I
So
guess I'll have to go to my local comic book store.
yeah. Will, how about you?
Huh. Well, it's springtime, so I've been buying trees. I've been doing so. Yeah, I am the kind of person who will be like, "Hey, what kind of tree is that?" And I'll go up and I'll bite the bark and say, "Oh, I think that might be a sycamore." Okay, I'm way too. My kids say it's my special interest, and that's means something about my, neurodiversity. But whatever, I'm really digging it. Literally too, like I'm out front until it's dark, digging in the garden. I have at least 5 gardens across this city, in total. So uh,
Nice.
if you have a body, just saying, I got places, and I know how to shallow graves pretty quickly. I'm pretty good at that. Compost. But anyway, yeah, no, I've been geeking out on all of that. Been watching all like, oh, okay, how do I trim up my blueberries this year? All of that stuff. It's full on, and it's even making me want to get into shape because I'm realizing I'm like, wait, I'm not worried about my heart. I'm not worried about like, how I look, but I am realizing, wow, my gut's getting in the way of my gardening. So I'm like, that's not okay, man. So that's been my obsession lately. That and oh, this is kind of cool. I don't have any children anymore. They're all adults. All of my children are over 18 now,
High
and
Really?
five, dude. Good on
Wow.
you.
they made it that far. And
Yeah, you're no longer, if anything happens to them at this point, it's not on
it's
you anymore.
not on me.
Hands up. No, not on me.
At the same
Good.
time, of course, I'm still, whatever. I'm like my parent, my mother still calls and says, "Are you okay? Are you eating your vegetables?" And so that's cool. I'm all about that. But oh, okay, this is telling. The big birthday dinner, the really good one, did not involve me or my wife. It was just him and his girlfriend. So yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I was
it's
like,
like
oh, the
that
good
now.
one. Yeah. Still my little baby boy though.
I don't know how old they were in 2004, but why don't you give us background to what was going on in 2004?
All right, let's take a look. It was a few short years after the future had come about, because if people who are younger won't understand this necessarily, but the future used to be the year 2000.
Hmm.
I know, crazy, right? But anyway,
Pretty disappointing, honestly.
yeah, very disappointing in so many ways. I mean, oh well. In January of the 14th, in January on the 14th, George W. Bush instructs NASA to begin efforts to establish a permanent base on the moon by 2020.
Yeah, we got that. That happened.
You're not supposed to know about that, Eric. It did happen, but
Yeah, yeah. That's shut up, Eric. We don't have clearance to
Oh,
talk about this.
in February on the 4th, DARPA LifeLog project was canceled by the Pentagon, citing privacy implications. Ironically, on the same day, Mark Zuckerberg launches this thing called The Facebook, a social networking site for Harvard students that has drawn comparisons to LifeLog. Because at this point,
Hmm.
as we all know, we're telling people stuff that we not, we're just telling strangers shit.
That
That's
you shouldn't be telling strangers. Yeah.
nobody. Yeah, exactly. All right, March 29th, in its largest expansion, Bulgaria, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Romania, Slovakia, and Slovenia are all admitted to NATO.
Albonia.
Oh, this one's okay. This is really I'm a fan. So, April 17th, Appleseed, the second attempt at adapting the manga of the same name to an animated film, is released. Appleseed shares strong thematic similarities with Frankenstein, including artificial life, the responsibility of creators, and the emotional and psychological consequences of being an outsider. While praised for its effects, it is allegedly bogged down with the philosophy and dialogue that is considered ponderous, awkward, and clumsy. And I had to agree. I love the manga, great artwork, cool future. You could not understand what the point of the whole thing was or why it was called Appleseed from the movie, hardly. So, whatever.
Hmm.
Anyway, May 7th, 2004, Van Helsing was released. We'll get around to that again, okay, in just a few minutes. On June 3rd, Thomas Bjorge Quorthon Fosberg, founder, vocalist, multi-instrumentalist of Swedish metal band Bathory, named for the Hungarian blood countess who helped inspire the modern vampire legend, died of heart failure at age 38. Or did he? Yes.
Or did he?
Yeah. Oh, here's another one. July 17th, Steam Boy, the most expensive Japanese film ever produced, is released. Set in the 19th century, Steam Boy is a story about the dangers of reckless scientific ambition. Rotten Tomatoes critics' consensus is that it has an abundance of sci-fi eye candy, but the story isn't the greatest. August 22nd, Edvard's Munch's painting Scream is stolen for the second time. It would be recovered a year later, though authorities have never revealed how.
Yeah, we talked about it being stolen in a previous when we were doing the 90s, we talked about how Edvard Munch's The Scream was stolen the first time.
The first time around. September 2nd, a nighttime fire breaks out in the Duchess Anne Arlinia Library in Germany. 50,000 books are destroyed.
Ugh,
Ouch.
Wow.
yeah.
Actually, that's one of those things where you remember when Google, back when they had like some kind of thing where they were like, yeah, our motto is don't be evil. Hilarious. Yeah.
Psych! Psych! Made you look.
And like the whole Gutenberg project where it's like, no, books will never be lost again. And so I'm like, yeah,
Nah.
seemed like a good
Yeah.
idea, sort of, but like, all right. All right. October 21st, a University of Florida scientist, Thomas DeMars, announces that he has grown a brain of rat neurons in a glass dish. November 21st, the Nintendo DS is released. And on December 20th, Hungary withdraws the last of its 300 coalition troops from Iraq. Well, I'm glad that no more wars in Middle East.
That's right. That's right. Bring our boys home.
Hungary. Yeah,
Yeah.
where Dracula's
Good.
from.
Good on you, fellas. Thanks for hanging out.
So let me give you the background to the production itself. Universal Pictures wanted to revive their iconic monsters. And after the success of the 1999 film The Mummy and its sequel, The Mummy Returns in 2001, they decided what they had been doing wrong every time they try to revive these is they're trying to revive the horror. Horror has moved on. So they're going to do like action films, right? Like that's what people want. So director Steven Sommers was brought back. He's the one that directed The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. He was brought back, and a release date was set for the 5th anniversary of The Mummy. But while The Mummy was inspired by Indiana Jones movies, Van Helsing was patterned off of the James Bond films.
Yeah.
All right.
It reminded me of Lethal Weapon a little bit.
Yeah, it
You
had
know,
that going too.
you know, yeah. You're a loose cannon, and you don't follow the rules, Van Helsing. And I just felt like either Hugh Jackman, or somebody in whatever scene Hugh Jackman was in, somebody said that in some way, shape, or form.
Van Helsing, get out of my Vatican! Don't come back until you kill Dracula.
That's right. You know,
So I thought they were so this reminded me a lot of Captain Kronos.
Yeah. So Van Helsing was the #1 film at the box office. It earned $51 million during the opening weekend, which was May 7th through 9th. And the film eventually grossed $120 million in North America, $180 million internationally, for a worldwide total of $300 million. So it was pretty much a success.
that's that Hugh Jackman magic, baby.
This is kind of the opposite. We are in the upside down from May. May was like critically well received, did not make much money. This made a lot of money, but Van Helsing received mostly negative reviews from critics.
Yeah, yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes critics consensus reports it as, quote, a hollow creature feature that suffers from CGI overload, unquote. All right, let's get into some of the reviews. Real Views called it, quote, the worst would-be summer blockbuster since Battlefield Earth, unquote.
Whoa!
Wee.
Whoa!
Man, come out swinging. Come out swinging.
That's them fighting words, man.
Nick LaSalle of the San Francisco Chronicle said, quote, Summers tries to hold an audience for 2 hours with nothing up his sleeve but colored ribbons, bright sparklers, and a kazoo. What he proves is that this is no way to make movies, unquote.
A kazoo.
Roger Ebert, who I think never gives a negative review, said he gave it 3 out of 4 stars and said that Van Helsing is silly, spectacular fun. Okay.
Way to soft soap it, man. Come on, man.
Ach, hello there. Give the demonstration of my new invention, the Goodies Machine. Special for patrons of this drive-in, the machine turns out delicious hot doggies one after the other. And thirst-quenching sodas also. Gives popcorn of the most tasty kind, plain unbuttered. Candy too, crunchy and dandy. Steaming hot coffee and ice cream too. These goodies are at a snack bar just waiting for you. Mmm.
What are we eating?
We are not eating anything. This is what I literally had with this film while I was watching it.
It's gonna be booze.
Absinthe.
Yeah,
So, a little bit about
okay.
absinthe. Absinthe's origins are unclear, but it's known that it began as a medicinal elixir. It was given to French troops in Algeria in the 1840s as an anti-malarial drug. But the troops got a taste for it and brought it back to France, where it became the chosen drink of bohemian writers and artists of the late 19th century Paris, including Charles Baudelaire, Lewis Carroll, Ernest Hemingway, James Joyce, Arthur Rimbaud, Henry de Toulouse-Lautrec, Vincent van Gogh, and Paul Verlaine, just to name some of them. In the US, it gained popularity in the French Quarter of New Orleans, where it was popular with, among others, Aleister Crowley, Mark Twain, Oscar Wilde. Now, Oscar Wilde, by the way, said of absinthe, quote, "After the first glass, you see things as you wish they were. After the second, you see things as they are not. Finally, you see things as they really are, and that is the most horrible thing in the world." Unquote.
Oh my God.
What is absinthe? Absinthe is a potent anise flavored spirit derived from a collection of plants and herbs, most importantly, the flowers and leaves of Artemisia absinthium, which is also known as grand wormwood. Sometimes Roman wormwood is used, but if it doesn't have some kind of wormwood in it, it doesn't contain thujone. And if it doesn't contain thujone, it's not real absinthe. Absinthe drinkers generally consider three ingredients to be the so-called holy trinity of absinthe: grand wormwood, green anise, and Florence fennel.
Wow.
Absinthe is sometimes referred to as la fée verte, the green fairy, because it typically has a green color from the chlorophyll of its ingredients. Cheap absinthes used like food coloring. Nowadays, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s, toxic compounds like copper salts or antimony trichloride, which may have contributed to absinthe's bad reputation.
Perhaps. That sounds.
However, it isn't always strictly green. It can be a range of colors depending on the flowers added. I mean, there was red absinthe. Anyway, mine was more of a yellow color because it's an older bottle. True undyed absinthe will change color over time as the chlorophyll breaks down. Just like leaves in the fall, it goes from green to yellow to brown. Mine is yellow right now. It doesn't reduce the quality though. And in fact, like wine, absinthe is supposed to improve with age, so it might actually be better than when it's fresh and green.
So the brown stuff's where it's at then, right?
Yeah. Traditional absinthe preparation follows an elaborate ritual called La Louche, and it involves the extremely slow addition of ice water to the glass over a sugar cube that's on a flat perforated spoon. Absinthe aficionados typically made use of what is called an absinthe fountain, which is just like a container of ice water with a tap to allow to precisely and painstakingly control that flow drop by drop of water. Sometimes these were super expensive, detailed fountains with fairies and nymphs and other mythological creatures on them. So
Man.
anyway, as the water and the sugar mix in the absinthe, the clear green drink assumes a sort of milky opalescent hue, and the nuanced herbal flavors emerge. It's similar to ouzo that way, which I believe we might have talked about on the podcast in the past, which is another anise type spirit. Anyway, it is not a liqueur as the sugar isn't added prior to the bottling. It's added at the time of consumption. In addition to the high alcohol content, absinthe has the stimulating properties of thujone, a chemical found in wormwood oil. The temperance movement, aided by the wine industry, successfully got absinthe banned as a dangerous and addictive hallucinogen in the US in 1912 and in France in 1914 and much of Europe by 1915. So I had St. George absinthe, which contains, it says brandy, star anise, mint, wormwood, lemon balm, hyssop, meadowsweet, basil, fennel, tarragon, and stinging nettles.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to make some of this, man.
Hay fever in a bottle.
Yeah, it's distilled in an old naval aircraft hangar in Alameda, California. Be careful if you're making this yourself. It can be dangerous. Don't drink it straight from the bottle like they do in this movie. No, don't do that. So normally they'd be drunk out of a reservoir glass. This is, they have a like bulge at the bottom and you fill that with the initial pour of the liquor. And then you allow the water to mix with the liquor to create the louche, the milky white effect. You can do it in a Pontarlier style, the iconic 19th century glass with a thick base and a reservoir cut in the bottom, a bubble reservoir glass, which is similar, or, something like that. I didn't have that. So I used a champagne glass or a coupe, not the champagne flute, but the coupe, which is the rounder champagne glass. And by the way, speaking of champagne, Ernest Hemingway substituted champagne for water in his absinthe because of course he did, right?
Yeah.
And that created the cocktail Death in the Afternoon. Named after one of his books. Okay. His recipe we have it. He wrote it down. It's, quote, pour 1 jigger absinthe into a champagne glass, add iced champagne until it attains the proper opalescent milkiness. Drink 3 to 5 of these slowly.
3 to 5 slowly.
3 to 5. Keep in mind, earlier we had that quote from,
Wow.
yeah, Wild, who said, like, by the third one, you see the way he blew past that to 5. All right. Domino Sugar makes sugar tablets that are the same amount as a sugar cube, but they're a flatter rectangle. I prefer these because they dissolve quicker, and I used a real absinthe spoon. But if you don't have one, you could just use a fork or a slotted spoon or some sort of sieve. And I didn't have an absinthe fountain, so what I did was I filled a cocktail shaker with ice and water, and I shook it until it was very cold, and then I used the strainer to strain it into the shaker's cap, and then I used that to carefully drip the ice water 1 drop at a time on the sugar cube until it was completely dissolved, and then continued pouring it until all the sugar was in the glass. And it was about a 1-4 or 1-5 ratio of absinthe to water.
Did you put any laudanum on the sugar cube?
I did not.
No. Okay. All right.
I didn't want to fall asleep during.
That's only for teething, okay?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
It has wonderful herbal and floral notes. I used St. George absinthe, which was the first absinthe in the U.S. after it was made legal again in 2007.
Wait, what's your slogan? Is it Slaying the Dragon?
No, actually, it's made in an old naval airplane hangar in Alameda, California. Anyway, it's 60% alcohol by volume, which is just what you need for this film, but not laudanum because I did not want to fall asleep during the film. All right. There you go. That is my pick. And as usual, I actually did have that while I watched this.
Why did I knew it was going to be booze?
Did you have a lot of them?
I did not have 5 of them. I'll tell you that much.
Okay. All right.
Bless me, Father, for I have sinned.
And Helsing,
You murderer!
Why can't you tell the world I work for you?
Because we do not exist.
My life, my job, my curse is to vanquish evil.
We need you to go to the east, to the far side of Romania, a land that is home to legendary creatures.
I see the Wolfman hasn't killed you yet.
Don't worry, he's getting to it.
Lorded over by Count Dracula.
It is a place where nightmares come to life.
Van Helsing.
He's the first one to kill a vampire in over 100 years. I'd say that's earned him a drink.
Now, a man without a past
Do you have any family, Mr. Van Helsing?
I hope to find out someday. It's what keeps me going.
will face an enemy that never dies.
In 1462, Dracula was banished to an icy fortress.
And then the devil gave him wings.
And uncover a secret he never imagined.
Castle Dracula.
Hello, Gabriel. We have such history, you and I.
How do you know me?
From the director of The Mummy and The Mummy Returns.
Oh my God.
Hugh Jackman. Kate Beckinsale.
How do I kill him?
No one knows how to kill Dracula.
If you're late, run like hell. Don't be late.
Van Helsing, a film by Stephen Sommers.
So Van Helsing opens in Transylvania in 1887. We finally have a movie that successfully starts in black and white and goes to color. We were supposed to get that with the Rocky Horror Picture Show. We were supposed to get that with Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, I think. We were supposed to get that with a bunch of other films. We finally got one that did that. Victor Frankenstein, aided by Igor and Count Dracula, are creating the creature. Dracula kills Victor Frankenstein when he refuses to go along with his plans for the creature. And it's also revealed that Igor is in his employ. Meanwhile, a mob is storming the castle. The monster flees to a windmill with Frankenstein's body. So we sort of get a reboot of the end of Frankenstein, the James Whale film. Anyway, the mob burns down the windmill, seemingly killing the monster. Then a year later, we get Gabriel Van Helsing, a monster hunter who works for the Knights of the Holy Order, an organization that protects mankind, traveling to Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris, where he gets into a fight with Mr. Hyde of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde fame. And at this time, we also learned that he can't remember anything before he was found nearly dead on the steps of a church. He hopes to regain a pardon for his sins and his memory for undergoing these missions.
He's also a loose cannon and plays fast and loose with the rules.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw that in there pretty much every time because they drive that point home so much. It's it's comical.
Yeah, he kills Dr. Jekyll. Yeah,
the church official was mad because he broke the rose window. That's why he broke the church.
You play fast and loose with the rules.
Van Helsing! All right. So, yeah, he's back at the Vatican. They're kind of annoyed that he killed Dr. Jekyll. They wanted to take him alive. So they give him his next assignment. This is so James Bondish. So this time they want him to travel to Transylvania to destroy Dracula and basically to protect these two gypsy type people, Anna and Velkin Valerius. They're the last sons of an ancient Romanian family, and their ancestor vowed that his descendants would either kill Dracula or spend eternity in purgatory. And the church is like, they've done a lot for us. We have to make sure that doesn't happen. So in Transylvania, Anna and Velkin, meanwhile, are attempting to kill a werewolf, which I guess is one of Dracula's minions, but it falls with Velkin into a gorge, biting him, but Velkin shoots it with a silver bullet.
Also, this is very important. We
Yep.
establish that she is good at wearing tight pants, a bustier, and doing flips.
And in high heel boots. And high heel boots.
Yeah, well,
this is very important because these are the main characteristics of her character. So we
Yeah. Pretty much.
Hey.
Pretty much.
Oh, wait a minute. This the other character gets important. This is established as they're giving him his mission. Is that there is? Oh, I don't remember what they called him.
Q. He's Q. He's Q.
Yeah, Q. Yeah.
He's
From the
the
Bond
Vatican's
movie.
Q.
Yeah.
And he's a friar. Friar Carl, who like gives him all, medieval gadgets like a repeating crossbow and stuff, which might even be a steam powered repeating crossbow.
Yeah, it was gas powered. It was gas powered. Yeah.
But he, unlike Q, he actually goes with them. So he goes into the field with them. They arrive at Anna's village and they fight their first battle with Dracula's brides. Their names in this are Verona, Marishka, and Alira, and they kill Marishka in the process. Velkin shows up. He's a werewolf now, remember, to warn them about Dracula's plans, but the full moon comes out, turns into a werewolf, so he runs off. They chase him. They follow him all the way back to Frankenstein's castle. And there they find Dracula's plan to duplicate Frankenstein's experiments to give life to thousands of his undead brood, using Velkin as the conduit.
This is an important detail. When they're there, there's like, we need to know what we're up against. So he takes off his glove and then shoves his hand into this thing full of goo and like undead babies. Because that's what you do.
For the listeners, imagine a cave full of green pods hanging from the ceiling that are roughly baby sized, if not a little bigger.
They're like a basketball size.
Yeah, I mean, and then he just takes off his glove. Yes,
take your glove off?
Right. I said that too. I was like,
because you must feel the goop.
Yeah, you got to feel exactly what you're. You don't want to miss any bones or metal pieces or anything.
I don't know, man.
Whatever.
I'm like, are you picking a lock? No, you're not. You don't need that. Whatever. But okay.
Yeah.
Van Helsing and Dracula come face to face for the first time here, and Dracula reveals that they are ancient rivals. Van Helsing doesn't remember this, but Dracula claims that anyway. Dracula's spawn, they keep coming to life and then dying. He wants to fix this by using Frankenstein's life-giving method. Van Helsing and Anna escape, and they come across Frankenstein's monster in the windmill. He's still there. Like, all these years later, still hanging out in the windmill, I guess.
Underground. He's like down in a cave.
Yes.
So you get your cave, you've got the creation scene. This is already hitting some marks for everybody here.
That's true. There are like multiple creation scenes.
Frankenstein's monster is the one who tells them that he is the key to Frankenstein's machine giving life to Dracula's children. Velkin overhears this but escapes with this new information. They decide to take Frankenstein's monster back to Rome for where he'll be safe, like they'll keep him at the Vatican or something.
Mind you, he's like, just kill me, because if he gets a hold of me, he'll use it for his evil things. And she's like, okay. And he's like, and
which is the exact opposite of the way Frankenstein monster acts in all the other Frankenstein stories, where he just wants to live. He just wants to live his life. In this, he wants them to kill him.
Yeah.
He wants to sacrifice himself for humanity, which is a very un-Frankenstein creature thing to do.
Yeah. And so she's like, okay. And he's like, no, we can't do that. Well, I thought you hunted monsters. And he's like, I hunt evil monsters. I hunt evil, not monsters.
He doesn't. He basically explains that he can sense evil, and he doesn't sense evil in this creature, even though it was made for evil purposes and with evil intent. The creature itself is not evil.
They make it from Transylvania all the way to Budapest, Hungary. That's as far as they get when they are attacked by the brides and Velkin. Another one of the brides, Verona, gets killed. Velkin gets killed. Van Helsing gets bitten, and Alira manages to kidnap Anna. Okay, this is the Buffy thing I was talking about earlier, where the bad guys get away with one person, and then there has to be a hostage exchange, like, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So they say that they'll trade her for the monster at this masquerade ball in Budapest. So Van Helsing locks the monster in a crypt, which is kind of pointless because Dracula's minions capture him anyway. But Van Helsing and Carl do manage to rescue Anna and escape from the masquerade ball because everyone at the entire masquerade ball was a vampire, which I thought was a goof because at one point you see in the mirror and you see Dracula and her dancing and all the people dancing around them, and you see her, but you don't see Dracula. But you also don't see any of the other people. And I'm like, wait a minute, did they screw up there? You know?
Yeah. I was like, who cheaped out? Who cheaped out on the CGI? Come on, guys.
But it was not a goof. They were actually vampires.
They were all
Yeah,
vampires.
I mean, honestly, it makes our heroes look like really dumb. I mean,
yeah.
All
right.
Well.
Then they go to Anna's castle, where there's this big map on the wall, and Carl explains that the backstory here, that Dracula is the son of Valerius the Elder, and he was killed in 1462 by the, quote, left hand of God. Now, if you know your Bible history and stuff like that, left hand of God usually refers to the angel Gabriel. Whose first name is Gabriel in this? I can't believe it took him this long to figure that part out. But anyway, Dracula made a pact with the devil to live. Valerius was told to kill Dracula to gain salvation for his family, but he really couldn't kill his own son, so he imprisoned him in an icy fortress instead, aka Dracula's castle. One of the things that Van Helsing brought from Rome was this fragment of writing scroll. It turns out it's part of the painting. The cardinal gave Van Helsing this, and it basically fills out the needed details they need to know to open the portal to Dracula's castle. There they find the monster, who reveals that Dracula has a cure for lycanthropy because it has been foretold that a werewolf could kill him.
Yeah, conveniently.
Yeah. Van Helsing is, in fact, been bitten, so he's a werewolf. He sends Anna and Carl to go get the cure, which they do, and they kill Igor. Van Helsing attempts to let the Frankenstein's monster loose, but he's struck by lightning, and this lightning bolt brings back all of Dracula's children to life. Dracula and Van Helsing turn into their monster forms, and they have our monster battle of the week.
Yeah.
The Wolfman versus Dracula, basically. Also, spoilers ahead.
Spoiler alert. If you want to avoid spoilers, skip a minute and a half ahead.
Dracula reveals that Van Helsing's the Archangel Gabriel, aka the left hand of God, didn't see that coming, who killed him and offered to restore his memory. Van Helsing refuses this, kills Dracula, and in his werewolf form, killing Dracula also automatically kills off all his children. Anna injects him with the cure, but not before Van Helsing, the werewolf, bites her before it takes effect. Van Helsing and Carl cremate Anna's body on a cliff by the sea. Frankenstein's monster leaves town, basically on a raft out to sea, and Van Helsing sees Anna's spirit reuniting with her family in heaven. And then Van Helsing and Carl ride off into the sunset. The end. Okay. Had to get that summary out of the way before we jump into stuff.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
First thing we got to talk about, the creation scene.
It's alive!
Which one? Because there are a lot.
Pick one.
The monster creation scene was heavily influenced by the fact that they were just doing CGI. So they didn't have to make shit. It didn't look like they made anything. And I'm gonna say it was underwhelming because of that. Somehow of all the ones we've seen, like the ones where like they have actual beakers boiling over with like freaking dry ice, and
Yeah.
even like where there's like, well, now we're going to put like special effects of the 70s, so there's like here's some weird like lens effects. Those things I enjoyed more than that. It was kind of me. Now later on they do two creation scenes where they're torturing the monster and they're torturing the werewolf, using the werewolf's powers to try to bring forth life, and then they do the monster, and those are fun in the aftermath because you get all these, electrified flying vampire babies.
Bat babies.
Yeah,
Bat
bat
babies. I
mites.
mean, yeah. There's no better word for it, really,
Yeah, but yeah, I overall underwhelming in terms of transformation. Those scenes, not my favorite bits of this.
Even the Igor being like, we must keep the atmosphere electrified.
Yeah.
Like so many other things, it's like in this movie, I'm like, there's the part where you're trying to be goofy, and then you're trying to be harrowing, and especially with the context of the Mummy, where it was definitely goofy and harrowing. Like I felt like they were in real trouble.
That was a good script, though, and pretty decent actors for the Mummy.
I mean, I really, really, that was one of those. I'm like, I'll watch that again. I've watched that more than once. And really enjoyed it.
Certainly, me too.
Yeah, I don't know. This one didn't really hit that mark. There's so much stuff where I'm like, you're trying to be serious right now, but it just feels goofy. Or maybe you're trying to be goofy, and I'm just finding it to be annoying, that kind of thing. So,
right.
But yeah, basically, creation scene, me.
There are some really cool Dracula effects in this. Like all kinds of stuff. In the very first scene in black and white, when there's the lightning and you see his vampire face for a second.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
I liked how he walked on inverted surfaces and things like that.
Yes, that was very
nice,
cool. And I liked
touch.
it when he did it. I get that Dracula can do that. That's in the book and everything like that. I do not get how the werewolves do it, because there's like one scene where the werewolf like climbs the wall and I'm like, what is he, Spider-Man? It's like that doesn't compute for the werewolf, for the Wolfman. It works for Dracula though, and that was very cool. So I had a number of complaints here. One, the whole thing feels a little too CGI heavy, a little too frenetic, a little too cool, like for its own good. Like sometimes it's like cutesy, and then also like some of my other problems with it is some of the falls and stuff like that should have hurt way more. Like when I'm like, okay, because it's CGI, it's not like an actor falling, so I think that should hurt more. That should cause more damage. Also, Kate Beckinsale's acting is a bit weak, like especially the emotional scenes where she's like talking about her brother, and whenever she talks about family in general, it sort of lacks conviction. And then it feels like this movie tried to pack too much in. And then there's just the stuff that's just right out there, like how did the horses jump the ravine? Like this team of horses, the bridge is out and they just jump the ravine.
They just jump.
Like
yeah.
No, I would say the chase sequence was probably one of my favorite sequences. There was some sense of peril there that I didn't feel in a lot of the scenes. So
it is a mixed bag. Yeah, it was so almost good at so many times in the movie. I'm like, this is almost there. And then they find a way to fall down. Like the booby-trapped carriage. I'm like, that relied on a lot of luck,
Right.
Like,
yeah.
And then later on, Frankenstein's in an ice block. Why?
Yeah, why? Yeah. How when did that happen?
How did that happen? Yeah.
How did that happen? I think that it was like some holdover from Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, which this took a lot of inspiration from, and in that he's in an ice block, but it makes sense because he was in the Arctic and fell in the water, and but here, yeah. And then there's also too much like like Spider-Man swinging in, from like
Oh
Frankenstein's
yeah.
monster, Spider-Man's through the window in the nick of
Right.
time, that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, even she gets in on it. There's like, okay, so I'm gonna say, I feel like that this all would have been better if it was entirely animated. Like instead of like a bunch of CGI seeming cartoonish, and rather if we animated the whole thing, I think it would all have been better for it.
It's interesting that you mention that because no sequel ever emerged from this, although they had intended it to.
Yeah, it looked like they were setting it up for that. The further adventures of.
Although a prequel did come out.
Really?
The prequel was animated. There was an animated prequel called Van Helsing: The London Assignment, which is basically where he gets the mission to go stop Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's like their first encounter, which leads up to their second encounter in Paris.
Maybe that's why I'm thinking, I'm like, no, if they had done more like Castlevania, that would have been great. But I don't know. I think it was the idea had merit, especially if you're coming off the Mummy. But capturing that lightning in a bottle again, didn't happen.
I don't think even it happened with The Mummy Returns. Like, I think that like they tried, and
No.
The Mummy was great, and then it goes all downhill from there, and then it gets into the Scorpion King and whatnot.
I mean, come on, The Rock. He was hottest thing in Hollywood at the time. How'd you fail with The Rock? The people's eyebrow. Come on. Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
So
how'd that fail? I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So overall, I have to give it a thumbs down. Although I will say, I think I fell asleep when I saw this in its initial release, and on rewatching it, I will say it's better than I thought it was, while still not being good enough that I can recommend it. That's where I'm at on it.
Okay, that seems fair.
You could put a little turd in a little turd tuxedo, but at the end of the day, it's still a turd. Thank you.
My God. Okay. All right.
I will say that one of the reviews I don't think I read about this was Bill Miller of the Arizona Republic, who gave it a rating of 2 out of 5, saying that it, quote, looks like a movie assembled by a room full of computer geeks munching Doritos and playing Wolfenstein in between stints of designing Dracula's fangs.
It's pretty accurate, actually. I
All right. So here's my take on this is that, and this is this often comes up for me and in our watching. I'm going to say this is not a good movie. It is good grist for the mill. Watch it if you are interested in creating your own thing in the Frankenstein. I mean, go even broader than that. And the Universal monsters, your own version of the Universal monsters. If you're interested in doing that, watch it because it's good grist for the mill.
Grist for the mill. Let me throw a challenge out there. We've talked before about fan edits of stuff. This is over 2 hours long. They could cut a lot of fat out of this. They could cut a good half hour out of this. I would like to see like someone do like the phantom edit of this, where they cut out a lot of the crap and like made it a better film. I think it could have been a better film if it was edited better.
It's one of those things where you're like, I want to capture this thing. There's something here. There's something here, but there's not enough there to make it a good movie. But yeah, grist for the mill. Like you said, I think that would be great to see a fan edit.
If this movie had fans.
Ah,
Hey.
this is somebody's favorite movie. You know that though. There's somebody
do,
who's like,
do we really want to talk to those people though? No, this movie was terrible and really longer. It was like what, 2 hours, 10 minutes, or something like that. It was about 2 hours too long. Hugh Jackman couldn't even save this movie.
he wasn't as huge and jacked back then.
But he was at the height of his popularity. Like this came during the whole like Wolverine,
X-Men, the X-Men
yeah.
movie.
Oh, it was. Oh man, damn.
Yeah. You know.
Well, what about Les Mis? Had he done that?
No,
Maybe.
I don't think he'd done
No,
that.
not yet.
That's
No,
it.
he's not that. He wasn't brave enough yet to do.
If he
to try to
had
do
just
something
sung
like
in
that.
this, if this had been wait, just take this, back it all up. I know how to say this whole concept. You turn this into a Disney musical. Everybody gets a singing bit. Oh my God, you could do it. Totally make this
No,
work.
no.
Yes, totally
No.
Disney musical.
No. I'm already writing Mike DeWine about this. With, like an angry email to Mike DeWine right now.
It was better the second time around because this is my second time too, and I did not have high expectations, so it was better the second time. It's kind of what is that like? You swallowed something that didn't taste very good, and somehow it tastes better coming back up.
So let me put you where this is in Hugh Jackman's career. By the way, he had made X-Men in 2000. In 2001, he had a couple of other smaller films. In 2003, he had X2. Okay, so those are the good ones. X-Men: The Last Stand doesn't come out till 2006. In between there, that X2 and X-Men 3, he made Van Helsing.
Yeah, this was supposed to be his new
Coincidence?
franchise,
I think not.
right?
I think he acquired a curse and carried it over to the X-Men franchise.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow, harsh, but yeah. Curse of Frankenstein or Dracula or the Wolfman. All kinds of curses.
Curse of a terrible movie.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, let's let this one go.
So that's 3 thumbs down, right? Everybody's thumbs down on
Thumbs
this?
down.
I felt like I was pretty clear about my answer.
Yeah. So
I'm the only equivocal one. I'm like, you should watch it so you know what not to do.
Will considers this a cautionary tale. Is that right?
Cautionary.
This is a cautionary movie.
It didn't have to be this bad though. Like the concept is not terrible.
It's not. It wasn't.
It's the execution. CGI wall to wall, man.
Yeah.
Like they went CGI hog wild, and
that was the coin of the realm at the time, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Practical effects were out the window. Nobody,
But we just talked about the first 2 X-Men film that were made right before this, and they didn't.
I get that. But not everybody. It's not Hugh Jackman's fault. Okay, it's the people who sign the checks to make the movies. It's
like putting AI on something. It's like, oh, we put AI on this, so it's gooder now.
Yeah. We don't. We don't even have to build. Pay set builders for anything. We just put up a big giant green screen and, boom.
Oh,
just
hey
like
guys,
that.
Any fans? So I'm sure there was a video game of this. Positive, because it's practically a video game anyway. So any fans of this who might know to weigh in and see if the video game was any good. That's what I'd like to know. I'll look into it myself.
I'll just say there was a lot of good stuff in it. It just kept like the chase scene, there's a lot of good stuff, but it never gets good. There's a lot of good stuff, but it never actually pays off. They always mess it up. I'm like, you had something good and then you lost me again, So if you like the show, not this movie, but if you like our show, even if you like this movie, especially if you like this movie, follow us and tell us why. But
so we can make fun of you.
Well, that'll probably happen, yeah. But whatever the case is, you can write to us at GC8podcast. That's letter G, letter C, number 8 podcast at gmail.com. Maybe we'll read your letter your email on the air. You can follow us on Facebook, and I think technically we're on Instagram, but we never post there. So it's pointless to follow us
Are you
there.
sure that's not Instacart? I'm not sure. Are those two different things?
Instacart.
Oh, we need an Instacart. Make some money off this for a change. Anyway, give us a good rating, good or review on whatever platform you download us from. But mostly just tell somebody else about the podcast. Until next time, this is Eric.
And this is Will.
I'm Jason.
Signing off.
Ooh, I like that.
So, you know, I mean, if you want to push boner pills, you know, I mean.